What's up, guys?
It's Monday, Miracle Monday.
Yay.
We've been waiting and anticipating summer. Waiting for and anticipating summer.
Summer. We just got songs on our
What time is it?
Summertime.
It's our vacation.
Yeah, we were meant to be theater kids, but
No, I wasn't.
unfortunately-
I tried to be a theater kid and hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
I wanted to be it so bad.
Yeah, you would have been good.
I
You would have been
know.
a good theater kid. Should I talk about my summer theater
Yeah.
experiences? This has nothing to do with what we're going to talk about today, but
Well, it's summer. Summer theme.
it's summer. So my family moved here to the Cincinnati area in the summer of 2008.
Gosh, that's ages ago.
Yeah. Our community theater, or I guess it wasn't community theater. This was the first show that they were doing. It was a community choir was starting their theater program that year. And there were a lot of people from our church and from our homeschool group that were a part of it. And so when we moved here, they were like, oh, you guys should join. So auditions had already happened. Casting had already happened. And so they just like let Ariel and I like be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were doing Seussical Jr. And Ariel and I we got to be bird girls. So I didn't want to do it because I'm very shy. I don't like attention. Please don't look at me. Please don't perceive me. I can't dance. And also I was like 12. So I was going through puberty and I was really awkward and I felt really bad about myself. And so anyway, we did the show. Ariel, of course, because Ariel is a theater kid and she's so good at everything that she does. She was like the main bird girl. Like everybody loved her. Everybody they were like, oh my gosh, like you're the star, like all these things, blah, 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 blah. Ariel's so great. Anyway, we got through the show. It was fine. And the next year I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it again. I didn't have a good time. But my parents were all for like me being social. So they made me do a lot of things that I didn't want to do as a kid. And I could give you story after story after story. But the next year they were doing Wonka Jr. And my cousin had been in Wonka Jr. in Chicago. And Ariel and I had seen the show. And I was obsessed with Grandpa Joe, the character. And the way that the guy in Chicago played it. Oh my gosh. I was like, if I'm going to be in this musical, I have to be Grandpa Joe.
Oh
I wanted to be Grandpa Joe so bad. I can't even explain it to you. I wanted to be Grandpa Joe so bad because he was so funny. And it was like totally like if I was playing Grandpa Joe, I would be able to like play Grandpa Joe fine because it would be like totally removed from who I am. Like there's no way anybody would think that I am Grandpa Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was so ready. I prepared for my audition. And I was like, if I'm going to be in this show that I don't want to be in, I'm at least going to be Grandpa Joe. Oh my gosh. I practiced so hard. I prepped for that audition. I went into that audition and I like was so serious. Like everybody was laughing at me like, you want to be Grandpa Joe just like you did. And I was like, yes, I want to be Grandpa Joe. And I crushed the audition. I was so good. And I read for Grandpa Joe, which they were just like humoring me because there was no way I was going to be Grandpa Joe. There was no way they were going to cast a 13-year-old girl to be Grandpa Joe. But I really tried. I really tried my hardest. And I got cast as an Oompa Loompa.
You must have did horrible on that audition, actually.
The cast list came out. I saw that I was an Oompa Loompa, and I cried. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be an Oompa Loompa. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm not doing it. I did it. Spoiler alert. But I called my cousin who had been in Wonka Jr. in Chicago. I called up my cousin. My aunt answered the phone, and I was clearly crying. And I was like, "Can I talk to Kayla?" And she was like, my aunt was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "The cast list came out." And she was like, "You didn't make it." And I said, "No, it's worse. I'm an Oompa Loompa." She said, "Oh, let me get Kayla."
That is honestly worse.
Oh my gosh. I hated it. Oh my gosh. It was awful. And I think that was the end of my acting career. I don't think I did any more shows after that. Ariel did a play. Like, she directed a play that wasn't a musical, that I was in. And she gave me the part that I wanted because nepotism. And I wanted to be one of the bullies in the show. And I was a bully. Yeah. I hated it. I hated it. I love the concept of musical theater. I love going and watching shows. I love listening to the soundtracks. I love Hamilton. I love Dear Evan Hansen. I love. Do I want to be a performer? Absolutely not. Absolutely. Does this look like the face of a performer?
Mm-hmm.
No. Ariel? Born to perform. Born to be on stage. Born for the spotlight. Mariah? Born for the wings.
You're like, in Greatest Showman when the girl's at the tree.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly me. Put me in a tree costume where you can see this much of my face, and I will support you and wave my little tree branches and say, "Yay!"
Yeah, that is so funny because I never knew this story.
Ariel was cast. They actually created a special role for Ariel because for some reason they couldn't just cast her as Willy Wonka. Even though they cast another girl as Willy Wonka. So, like, it wasn't the girl thing, but they just didn't cast her as Willy Wonka. They cast her as the Candyman, which is supposed to be the same person. Like, it's supposed to be, like, the Candyman is Willy Wonka. But they created, like, I don't know. It was dumb. But that is what I have to say about musical theater. I was not born to be a theater kid, but I was born to enjoy a musical.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling your story.
You're welcome.
The closest I came to being a theater kid was doing, like, church plays.
Yes. I've done a lot of church plays, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story, but it might come as a shock to you, but I always wanted to be the main character.
Shocked. I'm shocked.
And so, like, when they would cast me in the church plays, obviously the moms...
Yeah,
the daughters of the moms that were in charge always got the main parts.
Yep,
the ones that everyone wanted.
Of course.
And I did not stand for that. And I definitely complained and made, like, a big deal at my young age, like freaking 8 years old, whatever the heck I was. And I refused to wear the things they wanted me to wear. They would, like, tell me, like, you can't wear that. It doesn't go with, I don't know, like, whatever. And I would just be like, well, I'm wearing it.
Yeah, I was kind of like that too. Like, I did not think that the rules applied to me. Like, I was sure that they were talking to everybody else.
Well, I just hated authority.
Yeah.
But especially when it was, like, literally not fair. And I did not like the fact that it wasn't fair.
Yeah.
And it's not even necessarily that it couldn't be me. It was just, like, genuinely not fair.
Right.
And so those 3 girls that their 3 moms did the plays, they always got the best roles, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I do have a little video of me in one of them, and I had a little singing part, like, and you have, like, a little dance you do with it.
Oh.
I love to shop until I drop it. Fashion statement's what I am. Dun, dun, dun.
That's so true to you.
Then when I was a teenager, I was friends with so many theater kids. Yeah. I wanted to be a part of it so bad, but I just was never.
It's expensive.
Yeah, exactly. It was, and I didn't. So that never happened for me.
Yeah.
But I would go to their plays and stuff sometimes, and I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. I wanted to do it so bad, and but I feel like it's probably good that I didn't, because I feel like I'd be even more of a different person. No, I'm not a brat. Haters. But yeah. So all that to say,
we're gonna talk about summer.
Yeah, our summer bucket list, what we want, plans we have, or things we want to do this summer.
Yeah. What's at the top of your list? I think the thing at the top of both of our lists is the same.
Well, the thing at the top of my list, like my list that doesn't include like both of us, is my trip. Does that sound bad?
The thing that's on the top of my list that doesn't include you.
That's not what I mean. But it's just the one that's probably happening the soonest. My boyfriend and I are taking a trip, like a road trip. Why am I looking at my arm like there's a watch?
I don't know. My boyfriend and I are taking a trip.
You guys will have to follow along on my YouTube channel at Angelica Simon, because we're going to be vlogging a lot and it's going to be an awesome experience. But yeah, that's like going to be like so awesome. That's like the top of my bucket list. And then we obviously want to go camping more.
Yeah.
And we want to go to like really nice like parks in Kentucky, Ohio, where you can like rent kayaks and
just be on the water.
Be by the water. We want to take either like a beach trip or like a Lake Michigan trip. That's some of my tops right now.
We want to try camping in the car.
Yeah.
Like actually like plan to do that.
Yeah.
Not have to do that.
Yeah.
I think what I was referring to when I said that the thing at the top of our list is the same is that we both want to spend as much time as possible at the pool.
Oh,
getting tan.
Yeah. We're already doing that, so.
Yeah. Check.
Yeah.
I want to go to Kings Island a lot. I love Kings Island. I love a roller coaster. And you're just going to have to suck it up and go on a roller coaster with me.
I'll go once.
I'll take Sadie with me. Whenever I want to go, I'll just be like, hey.
I don't know what came over me.
I don't either.
I used to love roller coasters. Like, I love them, but I can't get myself to get on the big ones anymore. Like, last time, it gave me so much anxiety. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't do it. I can't. I don't know. I was always the one. I know I talked about this on another podcast, I think. But I was always the one that would be like, oh, you're lame if you don't come on the roller coaster. Like, it's fun. And I don't know. Something just came over me last time. My first time at Kings Island. I was like, I don't know what it is. At Carowinds, at the Intimidator I've been on, the 360, whatever it's called, 257, I don't know what the heck, whatever it is. That's like the freaking tallest thing. It like literally goes straight up and straight down. It's huge.
Do you think it's because you just weren't familiar with these roller coasters? And like the Carowinds ones you just grew up with?
Maybe. That could be it, honestly.
Yeah.
And at least with those, I know what to expect. And I know it's going to be terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But I'm sure I'll do it this time around.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Suddenly I can't think of a single thing I want to do this summer.
We really like hiking, and we haven't really done that much yet.
That's true. I would love to go to Red River Gorge with you.
Yes, that's one of the places we want to go to.
Yeah. I haven't been to Red River Gorge since we first moved here in like 2008. So I want to go there so bad. And it's just like, it's not very far from here. It's a couple hours. And a lot of people from my small group go there. Like they go hiking, camping and stuff there. So I can ask them where we should go because it's so big. Like I don't even know how to get around. But also Mammoth Cave. Have you ever been to Mammoth Cave?
No.
I haven't either. But apparently it's like a big deal.
Is that what Laura and Sarah were telling us about? Or no? They
were talking about Hocking Hills.
Oh, okay.
We definitely need to go to Hocking Hills.
Yeah,
though.
see, there's a lot of things around the area within like a couple hours that we can go do.
Yeah. Mammoth Cave is like a cave in, I think it's in Kentucky. I'm pretty sure it's either in Kentucky or northern Tennessee, but it's a cave. And I'm not really sure like what the hype is. Like genuinely, I don't know what the hype is, but some people in my small group were talking about it. And my small group leader, Sarah, also said, like, I didn't get the hype until I went. And then I was like, oh, yeah, this is actually very cool. So we might have to try that out. Mm-hmm. I think it would be so fun to get you on a zip line.
I'll go on a zip line.
Like at the museum or the Ark.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I think that would be so fun.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we have some friends coming to visit.
Yeah, that's
from
true.
Canada, if all works out, and then we'll do it then. I don't know if they'll want to do it, but maybe they will.
That would be so fun.
I know. Yeah, and we want to take another trip down to North Carolina, whether we do that separately, together, whichever way. Be by the lake again, maybe go by the beach next time. Definitely go by the beach next time. Just like, oh my gosh, we want to be out in the sun.
Yeah.
Exercising.
Yeah.
Taking care of ourselves. Like, because when you take care of your body and like you exercise and you get sun, it helps you in like every way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Speaking of which,
let me just share a testimonial about the sun. When we were in White Lake, actually, like, you can hear this on our last podcast, because White Lake was our last podcast, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You can hear this in our last episode. Angelica says something about how, like, she had never seen this side of me or something. And that's what everybody kept saying at White Lake. Like, wow, Mariah, I've never seen you like this before. Like, wow, you're like a different person. And it really does have to do with the sun. Like, we were in the sun so much. Mm-hmm. We were just on the lake all day, just in the sun, having a good time. And at first I was just like, you know, oh, it's because I'm not working and it's because I'm with the girls and like we're just all together and it's so fun and we're so happy. And I think that also like has a lot to do with it. But then we came home. Well, I went to Michigan for a weekend, and then when I got home from Michigan, that Monday we went out to the pool and laid out for hours. Mm-hmm. And then I literally got so much done that day. I cleaned the kitchen. I did loads of laundry. I rearranged my whole entire bedroom, which I've been saying, even on the podcast, I've been saying for so long that I wanted to get that done. And just like this whole week has been so productive. Mm-hmm. I've done so much. I've been so focused. And it really does have to do with the sun. Yeah. I think it has to do with the sun and my drops.
Hydration.
My hydration drops. I've been using Buoy drops. It started on Monday. And they're amazing. This is not sponsored, but you should sponsor us. These are like electrolyte drops. And I read something about how it was good for people with POTS. And so I bought some to try it out. And wow, I loved them. So shout out to Buoy for getting me through the week.
Honestly, that was amazing. It was like a realization of like, wow, what they say about vitamin D is really true.
Yeah. And like, I hate that.
Yeah, that's why in winter it sucks. Yes. Everything sucks.
Everything is awful in the winter. And like, don't you hate it when the things that are like the most common sense and the easiest and the, like, people are like, oh, this is like something that will help you. And they're right. Mm-hmm. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, exercise is actually really good for you.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Like, oh, actually, if you like eat better, you're going to feel better. Dang.
Yeah. Even with like, if you like work out, exercise, anything, if you don't also eat good, then
there's no point.
Yeah. You're not going to feel good because it doesn't feed you the same way that having like actual good food does. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to make you're going to feel like you're doing all that work for like little results or to still feel like crap and like whatever. So yeah, we recently started eating a lot of Taco Bell and we could tell the difference though, that it's like just ugh.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
And
like,
sometimes Taco Bell just hits.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you pay rent and then you're like, okay, Taco Bell it is. So, yeah, but it really is a big difference between like the
eating fresh, whole food, being in the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like taking care of your body. Wow, that actually works.
Yeah.
People are right about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like we used to talk about morning people and how morning people, like, they always talk about how magical it is to get up in the morning and be early birds and how much you can accomplish if you get up early. And they're right.
I feel like I like the mornings in the winter, but in the summer, I'm like, I don't really care to wake up early.
That's so fascinating. It's the opposite for me.
Really?
I like getting up because it's sunny in the summer, and in the winter it's not.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm like, I want to make the most out of the daytime in the winter because it ends so early.
Okay, and you're not motivated in the
Yeah.
summer because you're like, I have so much time.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very fascinating to me.
But either way, I think it is still better to wake up earlier just to have your full day.
Yeah.
But I'm not really much of a morning person right now.
No.
I mean, I wake up kind of early, but I don't start my day early.
Yeah.
You know, there's a big difference there. But
Something else that I want to do in the summer is just eat a lot of fruit. I've been craving fruit like crazy lately. I want to go to the store and get a big old watermelon.
Watermelon.
Oh my gosh.
Poolside watermelon.
Poolside watermelon. Poolside grapes. Poolside strawberries.
Poolside pineapple.
And also I want to make some smoothie bowls. Oh my gosh. I've never made you a smoothie bowl, have I?
No.
Okay, when I lived in California, we lived off of smoothie bowls, but also I made my own homemade oat milk.
Oh my gosh, yum.
And that made the smoothie bowls so creamy and delicious and amazing.
That sounds good.
So I'm going to have to do that.
Because I've had smoothie bowls and I like them, but to me they're never worth the price. Like I'm always like eating them like it's good, but I don't know if I want to spend $12 on another smoothie bowl, but that sounds like it's going to be delicious.
Yeah. And I'll make some homemade granola to go on top. Oh my gosh.
Yum.
Yeah, that's something that I just want to be eating fresh food this summer.
Yeah. I want to go on more road trips. Like, it doesn't have to be far. Just like we said, go like a couple hours away or even to like down to Tennessee or like, I don't know, just kind of anywhere we find that's like seems like a cool place to visit. Yeah. Go for a weekend or go camp or like whatever.
Yeah, because I think we've like discovered that we can go places so cheap because we are fine with camping and we're fine with sleeping in the car.
Exactly. Like it actually makes it a million times easier.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, if you rent an Airbnb or a hotel, like
it's going to be a couple $100.
Yeah. Like minimum just for one night is still probably going to be between like 70 to like $100. And whenever we camp, we literally get to camp for like $15. Like even if it's like 20 or even 30, it's not even that big of a deal because it's like we're saving so much money. Yeah. And all we have to worry about is gas. Yeah. And you don't even have to, like, if you do sleep in your car, like if that's your plan and your plan isn't set up a tent, then you don't even have to get a campsite. You can do that anywhere. Yeah. So then it's like you're literally camping for free. Yeah. Which is why people live like that. But yeah,
I think our horizons have been so broadened.
Yes.
Just realizing like, oh, we actually can do this.
That just shows that one decision can change your life. Yeah. Like if we never went and got those tents, what would we even be doing? Yeah. So much of our life has changed. Yeah. That's crazy.
We would not have the stories that we have.
No. And we probably wouldn't have went on the trips we went on at all. Yeah. We would have just been like, I don't even know. Yeah. Like we maybe would have went somewhere, did something, but I don't know. It's weird to think about, like one little decision. So if you want to do something, freaking make it happen. If you want to buy a tent, buy a tent. Don't be scared. No matter what it is, take the trip you want to take. Yeah. Like do stuff out of your comfort zone. Like it's so fun and rewarding, even if it might be scary or stressful sometimes. Like it's all worth it in the end.
Yeah. And also just find miracles in the mundane because like you can't, I don't know, for us, we just found joy through all of it. Like even when things went drastically wrong, it was fine. You just have to be flexible and you have to recognize that like, number one, not everything is that deep. Yeah. Like some people really freak out about the smallest inconvenience. Yeah. And like, oh my gosh, it's not that deep. And you just have to be flexible and recognize the things that are going right and let go and let God.
Oh gosh.
You know what we need to do?
What?
We need to go to the water park. The Kings Island water park.
Yes. I wish the girls could come.
Me too. Everything is so much better with them.
Yeah. They would go in the wave pool with me.
I'll go in the wave pool now, I
Okay.
think. I'm going to be scared, but
Why were you so scared? You were scared of drowning or because there were so many people?
I think it was because there were so many people.
That always happens. I don't think I've ever been in a wave pool and there's not like 100 people in it.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
I think that the last time I had been in okay, yeah. Actually, now I know exactly why I was scared.
You almost drowned.
Yes.
Same. Every time I've been in one.
The last time I was in a wave pool, I was very little. I mean, maybe like 7 or 8. And it was an accident. Like I thought it was, because I went in when it wasn't waving. And so I thought it was a pool. And then all of a sudden things start happening and I was really scared.
Where was your mom?
Who knows? We were at Wisconsin Dells and yeah, I like actually don't know where anybody was. I don't know who I was with. Don't remember.
That's
Most of the time, like
crazy.
if we went either to a public pool or to like with Wisconsin Dells, my mom would just sit where our stuff was and read a book or something. And then my dad would take us
that
like-
explains.
different. Yeah. And I can't remember if I've told this story on the podcast before, but one time, so my dad was a youth pastor for most of my growing up years. And every summer he would put on a day camp. And so my brother and sister and I it was across the street. You know, we lived across the street from the church. So we would go to day camp and whatever. So sometimes my dad would take the kids. I mean, like my dad and the counselors, like we would take a field trip to a water park nearby. The time that I went, I got like separated from the group and I was frantically looking for my dad. And so I was walking. There were a lot of people where I was walking and I was like looking. I was little. I mean, 5 probably. And I'm like looking up at the people around me like, where's my dad? Where's my dad? I'm all alone. And my brother and sister were in like different groups, like different, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like different, I don't know, groups. And so I'm just looking around for my dad. And what I didn't know is that above me was the big bucket that tips and like, you know.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The big, it fills with water and then it tips over and it just like pours all this water out on people. So that's why there were so many people where I was and where I was looking, because the water was about to tip, like the bucket was about to tip over. I'm 5 years old. The water that came out of the bucket was heavier than me. Hit my head, knocked me to the ground. I'm on my knees. My knees get busted, scraped up.
Oh.
And I'm like being waterboarded because I can't breathe because the water just keeps coming and I'm trying to breathe and I can't. And then somebody grabs me and pulls me out from where the water was pouring. And it was one of the girls that was like in my brother's troop. And she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I can't find my dad.
I'm surprised you're not completely traumatized from water parks.
I know, actually. Now that you say that, I'm surprised too.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. So
Yeah.
much happened to little Mariah.
So much happened. And like, she brought me to my dad, the girl that found me. And I'm crying. And I'm sure that he thought it was just because like I got separated.
Mm-hmm.
But like my knees are scraped up. And I'm like explaining to him that I was drowning. And like, he just like didn't care. He's like, you're fine. Like,
Oh my
everything's fine. Because, you know, when you're in charge of 100 other kids, your kid is like, if they're there, they're fine.
Yeah. That reminds me of a story I've never told on here, actually.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So I wasn't as young as you. I was probably like 13, 14, something like that. But me and my friend got lost on a youth group trip.
Oh my gosh.
And it was, if you've ever been to Myrtle Beach, you've probably been to Broadway at the beach. And it's this huge, you've never been there,
I've never
right?
been to
Because you've
Myrtle
never
Beach.
been to, yeah. Well, one day you'll see. It's this huge spot at the beach. Like, I don't know. It's one big circle, but it's a big,
Yeah.
like, it's very easy. And there's so many people, so it's very easy to get lost.
Yeah.
It's very easy to lose people. And you can keep walking, but if they
Yeah.
keep walking, you'll never find them.
Right.
And back then, we didn't have cell phones on us like we do now.
Yeah.
It was like, I think we might have had phones, but we didn't have, like, service, or we only worked on
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, or like,
Yeah.
I don't remember like what we had, but we didn't have a way to contact anybody. And it was just me and her, and we could not, there was a whole group, we could not find them. And at first it was like funny, like we were laughing, and then at one point we were sitting on a bench crying because like we were starving.
Yeah.
We were so hungry because they I think they went to eat because they had everything like scheduled,
right.
and there's like so many places to eat over there, but we didn't know where we were going to eat, so we didn't even know where to look for that.
Oh.
So they went to eat and we weren't there with them, and so we missed out on eating. And so that whole day, like, we were starving.
Oh
And I
my
think that's
gosh.
a part of why we were like crying so
Yeah.
much, because we were like,
Hangry.
we were so
and
hungry, and we were like, where is everybody? We don't know.
I'm never gonna eat again.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I think we ran into a couple of other people from the group, but that still was not the whole group.
Yeah.
So then, like, the hunt was still on.
Oh my gosh.
And oh my gosh, I don't remember how long we were lost, but it was a long time, like probably a couple hours at least.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it was just, there was no way to find them. I don't even remember how we ended up finding them. I really don't remember, but they had already eaten. So the youth pastor had to literally like let us go, like give us the money to go to get food and then leave after that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was actually, and I don't know, I can't remember all the details because it was so long ago, but it was just honestly such a funny story. But yeah, we were scared though, because we were like, what if we got left? Even though we knew that probably wouldn't happen, it was like, we were just, I don't know.
Yeah, because you're, especially like if you're not used to situations like that. And also, like, when you're young like that, you're just worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they left.
Yeah.
They left and we're stranded here and we're never going to get back home.
Exactly.
I can't, like, oh my gosh, were people looking for you? Like, that's crazy. Did nobody realize you were gone?
No, they knew.
Yeah. it probably got really quiet.
Exactly.
Like, where are the girls?
Yeah. I mean, we all weren't together the whole time. There was, like you said, like separate groups and everything, but still it was like, it was only us two. Everyone else was freaking gone. But yeah, I don't know. It was a good time though.
Man.
I can't think of anything worse for a youth group to take all them kids to than an amusement park or Broadway at the beach.
Yeah.
To have that many kids running around at these huge places with tons of different people, easy to get lost. I would never. Like, the local pool, okay, y'all are all in one place. A whole water park, amusement park? No, thank you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there's so much more that we're going to probably end up doing. And we also will kind of just go with the flow and see what happens. But yeah, I'm just excited for our summer adventures.
Follow our TikTok so you can see our little mini vlogs.
Yeah. We've been making lots of content on there. And like I said, on my channel, there's going to be like full vlogs of my road trip and then everything else we do.
Yeah, and I'll post some TikTok vlogs while she's gone of the things that I do, which is probably going to be not a lot. You know what? I'll do some dinner vlogs. When I lived in California, this is a fun story. When I lived in California, I used to send Catherine Marco Polos of me making dinner, and we would call them my little dinner vlogs. And I'll just do that on TikTok.
Honestly, that'll be good. I'm sure you'll still do stuff. It's not like you're going to sit at home every freaking day, which you like to do that anyways.
I like to do that. Yeah.
So it's not really a big deal. But yeah, what was your mundane miracle of the week?
Man, I feel like this whole week was a mundane miracle because I didn't take any naps. I want to take a nap right now, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man, do I want to take a nap. Yeah, just being able to be in the sun, sit by the pool, and having a lot of energy. That is truly, like, I feel like my life changed this week. It's so weird.
I love that.
Yeah. What was yours?
It's crazy how much, like, a bad week can be like a good week at the same time, because my car was about to break down in the Walmart parking lot, and it happened to be when Mariah was in Michigan.
Of course.
It was just me all by my lonesome. And so we had just finished fixing my car. We put the new air hose and everything, and we heard this like kind of whining noise.
Yeah, it was like a clink.
Yeah. And so it kind of seemed like it was coming from the belt, but the belt looked fine. Everything looked fine. So the next day, which is the day Mariah left, I think it was the day Mariah left for Michigan, I went out, and when I go to start my car, the freaking loudest noise is now coming from the front. And it's like, I can tell that it's the belts.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like what was happening.
Yeah.
And so like I pop the hood and I see the pulley is just gone. Like the pulley that holds the belt on top is gone. So now the belt is like right past the bearing where the pulley once sat. And so the belt started to like kind of like thread or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was rubbing against the water pump, and so that's why it was so loud, because it was no longer on the pulley.
Oh
it
my
was just like barely hanging on. And if it would have popped off, my car would have stopped running. Yeah, because if that happened to me with my old car, the belt popped off and I literally could barely get through a traffic place. And you lose power steering because it's connected to your power steering pump. So then your car, and then it starts overheating. Of course. Because everything's there, the water pump and the power steering pump, all that stuff. So, yeah, I was like, before it gets worse, I probably just need to get it towed, because I don't think it's worth risking driving home and it happening on the highway. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, and then I got it towed and I had to order the parts. And I was honestly stressing about it because, and shout out to Laura and Sarah, because they came to pick me up from Walmart, and that was such a blessing. But yeah, so then I had to order the parts and wait for them to come so I could fix it. And I was like stressed out because I was like, everything that seems simple never ends up being simple. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this myself. And by the grace of God, I was able to get the old belt off, the pulley, the bearing off, and everything. And it was actually such a simple process. Yeah. And then whenever you go to put the belt back on, you need to like release the tension to get it over like the new pulley. And oh my gosh, you have to push that down like so hard with all your might. So I had to call Mariah out there to come help me. And she came, and it was like we both were trying to do it. It's hard to explain, but it just was like you have to like push down on that tool so much to get the tension.
Yeah, you have to push down on the tool and then pull up on the belt to get it up and over.
Yeah, so this man appears out of nowhere and he asked if we needed help, and he was like, "You doing the belt?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just need to get it up over the pulley." So he pushed it, and even he was struggling.
Yeah, he used his whole might. Yeah. The way his feet were like sliding back.
And I had to like reach around him. I was like, sorry, because I like there was no way to get the belt up without like just basically us like our arms like crossing,
Yeah.
and it was just weird, but he was so nice for that. Honestly, like
Yeah.
I think we would have figured it out. We would have found a way. Now that I'm thinking about it, if I would have laid under it and pulled it from that angle,
Oh my gosh, you're right.
that probably would have worked, and you could have pulled it over.
Yeah.
But oh well, next time. But yeah, so that was a blessing, and now got a new
Your
belt
car's
and a
good to
new
go.
pulley. Yeah, still got issues, but those are for another day. But yeah, so I was able to fix that, and it was actually so simple. But yeah.
You were without your car for like almost a full week.
Yep, I was.
And you were the whole weekend without me and my car.
Yeah.
When I got home from Michigan, she was like, wow, I'm not stranded here anymore.
Yeah, but
I'm glad that's over and done with.
same. But thanks for listening, guys.
See you next week.
Peace.